If you ever looked at your child and thought, why are they acting like this? There's a really good chance you're solving the wrong problem. I work with parents every week who feel stuck in the same cycle. Their child has a big behavior or a big emotion, and a meltdown happens. The parent then gets frustrated with the behavior. Then the parent automatically reacts to stop the behavior. Next comes the guilt spiral. Then it repeats itself. And most of the parents I work with are trying really hard, but there's a disconnect here. They're responding to the behavior at the surface level. Behavior is what we see. It's like the tip of the iceberg. Instead of treating it like a clue, we end up treating it like the whole issue. But everything that's actually explaining your child's behavior is happening underneath the water level. There's always something driving it. So when we respond to what we see, we miss what actually needs support in that moment. We need to interrupt the cycle by understanding why the behavior is happening. That way, we can respond with understanding and a tailored approach to the actual problem. That's how you grow thriving children while nurturing your own confidence in parenting. Before I jump into it, I have a free resource to help you understand the underlying causes of your child's behaviors. You can grab it in the link below. It gives you a way to decode your own child's behavior so you can stop guessing and start responding in a way that actually decreases the behavior. Okay, so let's talk about the main reasons behind almost every single behavior you're seeing. Sometimes your child is dealing with an emotion that is simply too big for them to handle at this time. And remember what we talked about in my video on why kids have tantrums? Stressors can accumulate throughout the day. So maybe some days when they have been able to empty their cup through moments of regulation within that day, and there are less stressors filling their cup, that emotion comes up, may not actually spill over the cup. But other times when that isn't happening and their cup is full, you see behaviors like the yelling, the hitting, the refusing. But underneath all of that, there's a big emotion. They may feel overwhelmed, or their anger is bigger than their skill level can handle right now. Or maybe their anxiety has become too high, they can't manage it themselves. In this situation, their brain literally cannot regulate. This isn't a behavior problem. It's a problem with regulation, and their skill to manage this emotion isn't as high as the emotion itself. That brings me to other times when your child is struggling with a skill needed for that moment that they don't yet have or that hasn't developed to the level they need in that moment. It may look like they're not trying, but really they're lacking skill development. This could be that they don't know how to do what's being asked of them, or they don't have the tools to transition quite yet. It could also mean that they don't yet know how to communicate what they need, or maybe they can't yet manage all the steps you've given them to follow because that takes time management and planning and execution skill. Or maybe the problem is just bigger than anyone can solve alone. I see so many parents get stuck here because it often feels like their child is making a choice. But in actuality, they're missing a skill. Then there are moments where an actual need isn't being met. I think of this in two main ways, a physical need or a sensory need. Think about how you feel when you're exhausted. If you ask my husband, sometimes when I'm tired, I may get a little cranky and I don't handle it very well. Or when you feel hungry. Now, imagine having a much smaller capacity for that, like a child, and you have to handle it. Things like sleep, food, connection, rest, sensory needs, when those aren't being met, behavior can change quickly. Then there are moments when children are responding to something in the outside world. Maybe you switched up the routine. Maybe they aren't used to a new rule. Or it could be how they are being treated or talked to. And if you're really being honest with yourself, it could be in response to a chaotic environment or a conflict between others in their lives. If you only respond to the behavior and if you treat all these situations the same way, with consequences, punishment, ignoring, or just telling them to stop, you will most likely stop it, but only temporarily. It keeps coming back because the root wasn't addressed. So here's the shift I want you to start practicing. The next time your child has a meltdown or pushes back or shuts down, pause and ask yourself, what is underneath this? Is it a big emotion that they can't yet handle? Is it a skill they don't yet have? Is it a need that isn't met? Or is it a problem with the environment around them? Because when you identify the right problem, your response can then be tailored to the why underneath the behavior. You can sit with them to co regulate and manage a big emotion. You can help scaffold skills that they are developing. You can meet the need of hunger or sensory overload by taking them out of the environment or providing them with more stimulation if needed. You can change the environment around them. It often reminds me of that quote: when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. This is the magic of knowing the why under the behavior. I'm really curious, which one of these reasons do you feel is behind some of your child's behavior right now? Let me know in the comments. One skill I often see in the therapy room is children who have a low frustration tolerance. When something so small seems to throw your child into a meltdown, what do you do? Watch that for next week and be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss it.